All right, so let's dive into something that's really captured imaginations for centuries.
Okay.
The Ark of the Covenant,
Mm.
that
Yeah.
legendary chest said to hold the Ten Commandments,
Right.
parting the Red Sea, bringing down the walls of Jericho.
Oh, that, yeah.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
It vanishes from the Bible's narrative
Really?
without a trace,
Poof.
like it never existed.
Huh.
So where did this powerful artifact go?
Well, that is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fueled countless expeditions theories,
Oh, yeah.
even blockbuster films.
I mean, it's almost like
Yeah.
the Bible itself
Right.
can't quite decide
Yeah.
what the Ark is.
Uh,
So let's start by unpacking what we do know.
okay.
Picture this.
All right.
A golden chest,
Hmm.
about the size of a small refrigerator,
Okay.
intricately crafted,
Uh-huh.
with two golden cherubim,
Oh, yeah.
these winged mythical creatures on top.
Okay, so those cherubim are key. They represent the presence of God,
Right.
guarding the most sacred object within stone tablets inscribed with the Ten Commandments.
Oh, wow. Imagine the weight of that,
Yeah.
both literally and figuratively.
Right.
This was the symbol of the covenant
Yeah.
between God and the Israelites.
And that's why its journey through the Bible is so compelling.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's there at the Exodus,
Uh-huh.
leading the Israelites through the desert.
Right.
It's instrumental in the conquest of Canaan,
Yeah.
even allegedly playing a role in the destruction of Jericho.
But it wasn't all miracles and victories.
Right.
There were also these chilling tales of
Yeah.
what happened to those who approached the Ark with disrespect.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
the death of Eli's sons, Hophni and Phinehas,
Yeah.
for mishandling the Ark.
Right.
It serves as a stark warning.
Definitely.
And then there's the incident at Beth Shemesh,
Uh-huh.
where over 50,000 people
Oh, wow.
are said to have perished
What?
simply for looking into it.
That's a lot of people.
50,000.
Wow.
It's a staggering number
Yeah.
that underscores the awe and fear
Yeah.
associated with the Ark.
I bet.
Even David,
Uh-huh.
the great king of Israel,
Yeah.
faced consequences when he danced exuberantly before the Ark.
Oh, really?
His wife Michal rebuked him,
What did she say?
claiming he'd acted shamelessly.
Oh, wow.
These stories suggest that the Ark wasn't just a powerful object.
Mm-hmm.
It was a conduit to a power that demanded the utmost reverence.
Yeah, I can see that.
So how do we reconcile those stories with the Ark's ultimate fate?
That's the question.
After all, something that powerful, that significant,
Yeah.
shouldn't just vanish, right?
You'd think not.
But it does.
Really?
The Bible itself is silent
Oh, wow.
on the Ark's whereabouts.
Huh.
After the reign of King Hezekiah,
Interesting.
it's as if it disappears into thin air.
So weird.
And get this,
Okay.
when the Babylonians sacked Jerusalem a century later,
Right.
the Ark wasn't listed among the plundered treasures.
Huh.
Even when Pompey the Great,
Yeah.
the Roman general,
Uh-huh.
entered the Holy of Holies
Yeah.
in the rebuilt temple,
Right.
centuries after that,
Wow.
he found it empty.
Empty.
So
Yeah.
the question becomes,
What is it?
where did it go?
Right.
Was it stolen, hidden, destroyed?
I mean, there are a lot of theories out there.
Yeah.
Ranging from plausible to the downright fantastical.
For sure.
Some believe it was captured by the Egyptians.
Okay.
Others claim it was hidden by a Judean king
Right.
before the Babylonians arrived,
Yeah.
tucked away somewhere in the Holy Land,
Yeah.
waiting to be rediscovered.
Okay.
There's even a theory that it was spirited away by the Samaritans,
Oh, wow.
a group who often clashed with the Judeans
Uh-huh.
and hidden on Mount Gerizim,
Right.
which they considered sacred.
Makes sense.
And then there are those who believe the Ark's journey took it far beyond the borders of the ancient Near East.
Interesting.
Yeah, one of the most intriguing theories connects the Ark to Ethiopia.
Okay. And this theory isn't just some fringe idea.
Right.
It's deeply embedded in Ethiopian culture and tradition.
So the Ethiopian connection hinges on a fascinating text
Uh-huh.
called the Kebra Nagast, or Glory of Kings.
Right.
It's basically their national epic.
I see.
And it tells this dramatic tale involving King Solomon,
Okay.
the Queen of Sheba,
Right.
their son Menelik
Huh?
and of course the Ark of the Covenant.
So the Kebra Nagast claims that
Wow.
after the Queen of Sheba visited Solomon and converted to the worship of the God of Israel,
Right.
she returned to Ethiopia pregnant with Solomon's child.
Okay.
This child grew up to be Menelik,
Uh,
who later traveled to Jerusalem to meet his father.
And it's during this visit that things get really interesting.
Okay, what happened?
According to the Kebra Nagast,
Yeah.
Menelik's followers,
Uh-huh.
along with some Israelite priests,
Okay.
decide to borrow the ark
Oh, wow.
and bring it back to Ethiopia with them.
Interesting.
And it's not just a simple heist. No.
The Kebra Nagast describes all sorts of chaos erupting in Jerusalem.
Uh-huh.
The moment the ark is removed,
My what?
dogs howling,
Wow.
people weeping uncontrollably,
Really?
even donkeys praying.
That's crazy.
It paints a vivid picture of a city in turmoil,
Yeah.
as if the very fabric of its existence is being torn apart.
So it's like a divine security system,
You're-
warning everyone that something sacred has been taken.
Exactly.
Solomon eventually realizes what's happened and tries to pursue Menelik,
Does he catch him?
but it's too late.
Oh, wow.
The archangel Michael intervenes,
Really?
guiding Menelik and the ark safely to Ethiopia.
So the ark ends up in Ethiopia,
Right.
and according to the Kebra Nagast,
Yeah.
it's housed in a church in the city of Axum,
Okay.
a place considered incredibly sacred by Ethiopian Christians.
So to this day,
Yeah.
there's a strong belief among many Ethiopians that the ark is still there,
Wow.
protected by generations of guardian monks who have dedicated their lives to its safekeeping.
It's an incredible story,
It is.
full of drama, intrigue, and divine intervention.
Yeah, but
But of course, we have to ask,
what's that?
how much of it is historical fact?
Well, there's debate among scholars about the origins and age of the Kebra Nagast.
Uh-huh.
Some believe it was composed much later,
Yep.
perhaps in the 14th century,
Right.
to solidify the Solomonic dynasty's claim to power.
I see.
They point to the fact that the text doesn't mention Islam,
Hmm.
which was a major force in the region by that time.
That's a good point.
But
Yeah.
regardless of when it's written,
Uh-huh.
the Kebra Nagast has undoubtedly played a significant role
Right.
in shaping Ethiopian identity
Yeah.
and their claim to possessing this sacred relic.
Absolutely. And it's worth noting
Yeah.
that the annual celebration in Axum,
Uh-huh.
commemorating the arrival of the Ark,
Right.
is a testament to its enduring significance in Ethiopian life. Now, we can't talk about the Ark in Ethiopia without mentioning a certain author
Okay.
who dove headfirst into this mystery,
Who's that?
Graham Hancock.
Oh, yeah, Graham Hancock.
Right.
And his book, The Sign and the Seal.
Exactly.
Hancock's research took him all over the world, following ancient clues
Right.
and exploring the Ethiopian connection in great detail.
So he argued that the Ark was indeed taken from Jerusalem,
Yeah.
not by Meneleki,
Uh-huh.
but by Levite priests who feared for its safety,
Okay.
according to Hancock.
Yeah.
These priests eventually made their way to Ethiopia,
Right.
where the Ark found its final resting place in Axum.
Hancock's theory is fascinating.
It is.
And he even suggests a connection to the Knights Templar,
Oh, wow.
claiming they were actively searching for the Ark,
No.
believing it to be one and the same as the Holy Grail.
So Hancock is basically saying
Yeah.
the Ark is Ethiopia's crown jewel,
Right.
hidden away in this sacred city,
Uh-huh.
protected by centuries of tradition and belief.
That's a pretty bold claim.
But didn't his book cause some controversy?
It did.
No.
You see, Hancock's work,
Yeah.
while captivating,
Uh-huh.
brought a lot of unwanted attention to Axum.
Like what kind of attention?
Treasure hunters,
Okay.
the curious,
Right.
and the media all descended on the city, hoping to catch a glimpse of this legendary artifact.
And that must have put a lot of pressure on the clergy in Axum,
Yeah,
who traditionally guarded the supposed location of the Ark.
absolutely.
So they became increasingly guarded,
Right.
fearing the potential for exploitation, theft, or even violence.
It's a reminder that
Yeah.
the pursuit of these ancient mysteries
Uh.
can sometimes have unintended consequences.
It's like opening Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Once the lid is lifted, you can't always control what comes out.
That's a very apt analogy.
Thanks.
But ultimately, the question remains.
What's that?
What was the Ark of the Covenant?
Right.
Was it truly a vessel of immense power, capable of parting rivers and bringing down walls?
yeah.
Or was it a symbolic representation
Right.
of the covenant between God and his people?
Yeah.
A physical embodiment of their sacred bond.
And maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
its power lies in its very absence.
What do you mean?
Perhaps the mystery surrounding its fate compels us
Okay.
to search for deeper meaning in our own beliefs and traditions.
That's a profound thought.
Thanks.
But before we delve into the symbolic significance of the Ark,
Yeah.
let's take a closer look at some of those other theories we mentioned earlier. Remember, the ark disappearing after the reign of King Hezekiah is one thing.
Right.
It also doesn't appear in any account of what the Babylonians took when they sacked Jerusalem.
You're right. So if the Babylonians didn't take it,
Yeah,
what happened to it?
exactly.
Could it have been hidden before they even arrived?
That's one theory.
Okay.
Some speculate that a Judean king, recognizing the impending threat from Babylon,
Right.
decided to safeguard this sacred object by hiding it somewhere secret,
Okay.
perhaps within the Temple Mount itself,
Right.
or maybe somewhere else in the Holy Land.
So it could be out there,
Yeah.
buried somewhere, waiting to be rediscovered.
It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it?
It is.
The ark hidden away like some ancient treasure,
Right.
waiting to be unearthed.
It almost makes you want to grab a shovel and start digging.
And you wouldn't be alone.
Yeah.
The search for the ark has captivated explorers, archaeologists, treasure hunters
Right.
for centuries.
For sure.
But there's another possibility
Okay.
we haven't considered yet.
What's that?
Remember Pharaoh Shishak?
Yeah.
Who's mentioned in the Bible as having raided Jerusalem?
Right.
So maybe the ark's journey didn't end in Ethiopia or some hidden chamber in Jerusalem.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it ended up somewhere in Egypt.
Oh, wow. So maybe the Egyptians got it.
It's a theory that's been around for a long time.
Right.
And let's be honest, it has a certain Indiana Jones-esque appeal to it, doesn't it?
It does.
The ark hidden away in some forgotten tomb or beneath the sands of the desert.
Yeah.
It's a classic adventure story waiting to be written.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
as we explore all these theories,
Uh-huh.
from the realistic to the more outlandish,
Right.
it makes you realize
What's
just how much our perception of the ark is shaped by the Bible itself.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is that even within the Bible,
Right.
there's this tension
Okay.
when it comes to describing the ark.
Like what?
On one hand, you have these incredibly detailed accounts
Uh-huh.
of its construction, the materials, the dimensions,
Yeah.
almost like a blueprint,
Okay.
designed to convince us that this thing truly existed.
Right. Like they wanted to leave no doubt that this wasn't just some mythical object,
Right.
but something real tangible.
But then there are all these stories
Yeah.
about the danger of approaching the art improperly,
Right.
the severe consequences for those who disrespect its power.
I mean, it's almost like two different perspectives
Yeah.
wrestling
Yeah.
with each other within the same text.
Exactly.
So, like, think about the story of David bringing the ark to Jerusalem.
Uh-huh.
He's so overjoyed, he dances before it with all his might,
Yeah.
ecstatic to have this sacred object back in his city.
Okay.
But his wife, Michal,
Right.
sees this as a complete lack of respect
Oh, wow.
for the ark's sanctity.
Yeah.
She rebukes him, highlighting the importance of reverence and awe
Right.
in the presence of the divine.
And that tension,
Yeah.
that push and pull between the physical and the spiritual,
Uh-huh.
the desire to celebrate and the need to maintain a respectful distance
Right.
is really at the heart of the ark's mystery, isn't it?
I think you're right.
It's a physical object, yet it embodies a power that transcends the physical.
Uh-huh.
It's meant to be carried, yet it can seemingly move on its own,
Right.
guiding the Israelites through the wilderness,
Yeah.
as if imbued with a will of its own.
Okay.
It represents God's presence. But that presence can be both life-giving and incredibly dangerous,
Yeah.
capable of bestowing blessings and delivering swift judgment.
So it's like the Bible itself is trying to grapple with this paradox.
Yeah.
To reconcile the tangible with the intangible,
Oh.
the human desire to connect with the divine
Mm-hmm.
and the inherent dangers of that connection.
Precisely. And maybe that's why
Yeah.
the ark's disappearance is so significant.
What do you mean?
It forces us to move beyond the physical,
Okay.
to engage with the covenant itself on
Yeah.
a deeper, more spiritual level.
It's like the absence of the ark compels us to find that divine presence, not in a golden chest,
Mm-hmm.
but within ourselves,
Okay.
in our own hearts and minds.
I see.
The search for the ark becomes an inward journey,
Right.
a quest for meaning and understanding that transcends the physical realm.
That's beautifully put.
Thanks.
And it's interesting to consider the implications if
Yeah.
the ark were to be found.
Like, what would happen?
Who would claim ownership? How would its authenticity be proven?
Good question.
Would it be displayed in a museum?
Yeah.
Studied by scientists? Venerated by the faithful?
And would its rediscovery somehow diminish its power?
Right.
Or would it simply add another layer to the mystery?
It's hard to say.
Would we be able to reconcile the physical object with the awe-inspiring stories that have surrounded it for millennia?
Right.
It's a question worth pondering.
Absolutely. So, while the physical location of the Ark remains a mystery,
Mm-hmm.
its legacy lives on,
Okay.
inspiring awe, wonder,
Right.
and a profound sense of the sacred.
Yeah.
It's a story that continues to challenge us, to make us think about the nature of faith, the mysteries of the past, and the powerful connection between the physical and the spiritual
Right.
that has captivated humanity for centuries.
For sure.
Who knows, maybe someday, somewhere,
Yeah.
someone will stumble upon its final resting place.
That's possible.
But for now, the search continues,
Yeah.
and perhaps that's exactly how it should be.
Maybe the true power of the Ark lies not in its physical presence, but in its ability to spark our curiosity, ignite our imaginations,
Okay.
and remind us that some mysteries are meant to remain unsolved.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that there are forces beyond our understanding,
Right?
forces that we can glimpse through faith, through tradition, through the enduring power of stories passed down through generations.
Okay.
And maybe that's enough.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought.
Okay.
If the Ark were to be found, what then? What would it mean for us? For our understanding of history, of faith, of ourselves?
That's something to think about.
It is. It's something to wrestle with.
For sure.
As we continue to explore the enduring mystery of the Ark of the Covenant.
Great point.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.